Hello, and welcome to the past mid-morning but not quite late morning edition of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now, here's your host, the Voice of Doom. Thank you, Mr. Announcer, and I don't know about these editions. I think it's getting a little, it's not necessary to talk about what time it is. We all know what time it is. Gonna go on with 2020 and just kind of go in the same vein, ranting randomly. So, the summer is dragging on and the cities are burning on, and everybody's kind of on edge because suddenly, after we kind of start to open up again, um, noticing certain states aren't opening up and certain states are opening up, and certain cities are burning down and certain cities aren't burning down, and seem to detect a pattern. And you can find your own pattern, but it just seems like, are these people actually letting things get worse deliberately because of their preternatural hatred for this guy that they want him out so bad they'll burn the whole country down if they have to do it? And I'm beginning to think that's true. Can't help but think that, yeah, they will let the whole country go down the tubes just to get power, just at least get this guy out of here because they got a weird, I don't know. Sometimes I go, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. I look at it from their side and it's like, maybe he was, but I can't find anything. So either I'm just seeing things so totally different that I should really be institutionalized, or it's like, yeah, I disagree. I don't know why you're so hating this guy that you're willing to let the country go bad. But that's the tribes. And that's why government doesn't work right now, and it will never work for the near future at the rate we're going. That's absolutely true. The government will not work if we keep doing what we're doing and keep going at the rate of, descending at the rate we're descending. I really don't think there's even going to be an election next year, so I'm not too worried about that. But what I am worried about is when this incident just drops into the laps of these ruthless curs, you know, impunocrats that are going to use this to their advantage and to their financial advantage and political advantage. And it's like, we're going to get to the bottom of racism once and for all, and we're all going to love each other. But before we do that, we all got to hate each other. Because you got to really go bad before you can start to build and be good. So let's make sure everybody hates each other. You got to understand, you guys. Hate is the way to go right now. Because then we'll love each other later. So BLM, and can't even talk about some things, it's obvious, racism, and if you say anything out of context or anything, that could be misconstrued, then you're screwed. So BLM, you know, self-serving organization that took advantage of a very bad incident, and it could have been dealt with differently. But I'm looking at nothing but bad things coming because I'm thinking trials and riots, and if it doesn't go this way, there's a riot, and if it goes, it doesn't, you know, who knows? There's like 5 of them that are going to be tried. I'm thinking this is just going to be nothing but constant riots and constant hatred. But anyway, I'm, little vignettes. It's like I'm driving to work, driving to the parking lot, and I just had a stupid knee-jerk reaction to something, and it sounds really bad, but I said it out loud, and I could say a lot of things out loud, but I just drove up and saw a bumper sticker and it says Black Lives Matter, and I just shout out, "What are they, pets?" And then I'm listening to myself, and it's like, yeah, I mean, why do we have to treat this incident like we have to take care of this group now, or we have to be reminded that we shouldn't kill certain people or we shouldn't hurt, the whole thing. Come on, I shouldn't have to even talk about it. Patronizing, condescending, and exploiting. That's the big thing. Exploiting a bad situation and turning us all against each other. So everybody's hating everybody. Certain things are opening up, certain things aren't, depending on the political climate, who's in charge of a state. And we want to make sure that Trump goes down in flames, and this is all his fault, of course. All his fault. And it will continue to be his fault until he leaves the Oval Office. And everything he does, we will go against. Everything. No matter what. If he wants to save starving puppies, we're against it. Let him die, because Trump's for it. Preternatural hatred. I've never seen anything like it before. I've seen a lot in this. I've seen Watergate. I've seen Nixon. I've seen people hate different presidents or hate, but I've never seen anything like this. Especially somebody that really doesn't deserve it. I mean, I don't think he does, and I don't know why he would consider running again. There's a masochistic thing there, perseverance and fortitude that is impossible because he's never gotten a break. So that's the situation. He's still president in 2020, and everybody's hating each other, and we're destroying the country in order to have a certain tribe win. Football, not problem solving. I could set up a new government in a few days that would be much better than what we have now, way better. And you still have a sort of a democracy, but you'd have, a reasonable government. I mean, you shouldn't even have to have a government. It should be very, kind of clear what they're in charge of. But whatever, I don't want to get into that right now. I do want to say division, I want to say riots, I want to say fires, I want to say confusion. And my wife's, going to work every day, and she's, her arm's swelling up, and we're like, you should go to the doctor. And she's like, nah, I don't want to do that. They won't. She doesn't like doctors. And finally, summer drags on, and it's like, my son, Benjamin, who saved us so many times, says, I'll pay for you to go to the doctor. Just, you should go to the doctor. And she's like, no, I'm taking this homeopathic stuff, and it's getting better. And I just got to cut out coffee. I just have to cut out salt. I just have to cut out sugar. It's one thing, But it's probably August. I'll just continue because I can only say so much about the big picture on the BLM and the division. I mean, it should be obvious what people are doing, and it's insidious, and it's and I think they think I don't know. I think they think they're doing good. Maybe they've deluded themselves so badly that they don't see their own evil. I mean, it's a concept that I'm got to work out because, if you're really doing what you're doing because you want total hatred and destruction, then, we should get rid of you, just like ISIS. And, I don't want to get into hyperbola, okay? Now, doctor, don't want to go. And it's suddenly occurring to me that I kind of know why she doesn't want to go. And I'm thinking about the towels in the wash machine, and I'm thinking about the breast cancer that actually they had a whole plan for her. It was going to be chemo, radiation, and double mastectomy, and they dumped that on her right after she got her checkup. It's not like, well, we'll go from, we'll see. It's no, do this is, and she's like, kind of shocking. It's like my body's going to be, cut, parts of my body. It's. So I understood when she stopped and didn't get it all done. And I was kind of skeptical myself about the treatment because the treatment's worse than the disease, it seemed like. So I didn't know anything, and at the same time, we were, poor enough to have everything paid for. Tell you one thing, I'm going to tell you a lot about the medical industrial complex in my next few episodes because after August, but I know a lot about the medical industrial complex. They've joined together with the government and the agencies, and it's a big mess. And then you got COVID, and then that means you can't talk to anybody. Um, but I have a lot to say about that. But I put two and two together, and I'm like, she doesn't want to go see the doctor because she doesn't want to hear what the doctor's going to tell her, because I know she probably has something that is probably getting bad by the day, and she doesn't want to admit it. So, and then it's dawning on me, and this is kind of the irony, and I'll leave it on this sad note because it's a little tragic. It's kind of like, suddenly I'm like, she never really wanted to get a separate bedroom. She never really wanted to be separate. And she actually convinced herself that we weren't right together, or we didn't get along, so that she could kind of, you know, not just kind of soften the blow of we're just fighting, whatever. But I can't even explain that. But the main thing is, she wanted to not have me touch her, is the bottom line. And if we were in bed, then I might touch her, and I might feel things and go, what's this all about? And since she's in denial, she can't be in bed with me and, deny it, because then I'll be like really panicky and like, we're going to the doctor like tomorrow. I'm calling the doctor. I don't give a crap about whatever money. But she stayed in her room, and her arms swelled up. And that's the irony, is that I thought that, I kind of thought she didn't really want me anymore, and I knew that I had my own problems and I was selfish. But truth of the matter is, it was something completely different. So you can take from that what you will. I hope that when something strangely bad or a big abrupt change happens, that you kind of take notice and don't just take the first thing that you think is happening and go off half-cocked, but just think that nothing's really like it seems, and even when you figure it out, it's still not like it seems. So, yeah, a little depressing episode, not a whole lot of ribald comedy or quips, sardonic witticisms, but I'll get back to it. It doesn't get very funny, but you can always find humor in things. So, another episode coming up. I think it's a good time to quit, so I'll see you in maybe afternoon or I don't know what. Thanks, everybody, and have a good morning.